Hello, and welcome to this Christian Walk podcast, the show where no topic is too taboo to empower you on your walk with God. I'm your host, Marley B., and it is my privilege to welcome you back to the conversation. And today's conversation is kicking off season 4, so you know we had to do it right. So I'm going to be talking all about monogamy today with my guest. When you think about monogamy, some people think that it's natural. Some people think that it's not natural at all. Some people think that it was God's plan all the time for us, and some people think that was never the plan. Like my guest today. So let's get into the conversation where he expressed his views on why the plan was never to be with just one man and one woman, and we'll see what you think at the end. Let's get into it right now.
Walk with me, talk with me. What you know about God? Will He ride with me? Come and open my eyes for me. Hear my story. Show me more what's in store. And once more, listen, homie, can you walk?
Gary Royal, welcome to this Christian Walk podcast.
What's happening? What's going on? Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Thank
I
you
appreciate
for
it so
being
much.
here. I
Yes.
really am excited about this conversation, right? Because I'm gonna give you a chance to talk about you, because basically this interview is about you. This conversation, I don't really like to call them interviews, is about you. But I don't want you to get nervous in that
No,
light,
no,
in
no.
that aspect.
Me personally, it's a general conversation, man. It's a general conversation, and it's a conversation that probably should be heard or spoken about, or is being spoken about silently, and people are interested in it. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have an understanding of it, and that's why you shun from it, or you were raised traditional, and you like that's not how things should be. But when you grown, who was to say how things should be?
That part right there. So, and like you said, I like how you touched on the fact that it is something that some people are talking about it, some people are talking about it on low key, and some people just try to avoid it altogether. But on this
Altogether.
show, right, on this show, we do not stray away from taboo topics, right? Personally, since I've been doing this show, when this air, it'll be season 4. I've
Okay.
had couples on the show before to talk about doing relationships, whether it's dating, married, doing it God's way, right? But we're not naive to the fact that that's not the only way. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I mean,
And
but what is God's way though? I
God's
mean, what is
way
God's
is,
way? I mean,
I'm glad that you asked. That is doing it to where you are sure, where you're doing it without having sex before marriage. To generalize it a little
who's
bit.
doing that?
It's people doing it, and it's working for them.
I
It is
mean, if
people.
it
If you
works,
want, I can send you those shows so that you can see it.
that would be fun. I mean, it works for. I mean, everything works. Everybody has their own niche. So what works for you is what works for you. If you say, "Hey, let's not commit ourselves, sexually to each other until we're married," and that's what builds you a stronger foundation, that's fine, because hey, with that part, you take sex out of the equation, or intimacy out of the equation, and I get to know who you are
Right. And that's
as a
the
person.
point of it, I think. You know what I
Now
mean?
I do. Now that's the whole thing. I think that's an excuse too, because I just think that you just are terrible in bed, so you just like, what, I'm gonna wait till you marry me first, and then you can't back out because I'm here now.
So you think that I would be like, okay, me going, wait a minute. So you think that the mentality is me knowing I know I'm bad at sex. So I'm going to just tell people I want to wait to marriage so that people won't know
You won't
until
even
we
know
get
I'm
in.
bad at it. You won't even know I'm bad at it until you get it. Like that's like, that's buying ground beef from the store, and it's just all, and you don't even see what kind of packages it in. It's just wrapped up in white packages. And like you get home, you're like, I think this is ground beef. I think.
You know what?
When
I,
you get home, it's a tenderloin. Like, this is not even what, I don't even eat pork, ma'am.
Garrett, Garrett, I'm not messing with you, Garrett, because these people are not always virgins.
But,
Okay? Because
okay, there you go. So don't act like you brand new now. Like, what's, come
But
on, man.
can the sister change? Can the sister make a decision to say, you
No,
know
you
what,
can,
I
what you
don't
can
want to
do.
do things my way anymore, the way that I've done it in the past. I want to do it the way God says do it. Is there something wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, What way is God's way? If you do it in decency and in order, what way is God's way? If because one, it says a marriage bedroom is undefiled. So if a marriage bedroom is undefiled, who's to say what God's way is if me and my partner and my spouse agree on what we do?
But you have to you would have to be my spouse. You know,
Okay.
if I skip the ceremony and just get in there and start tapping that, then
First of all,
I done missed
give
the
me one
vital footstep.
ceremony. Give me one ceremony that happened in the Bible. Give me one ceremony.
Jesus went to a wedding and turned
And
water into wine. That's a
who was getting
ceremony.
married? Who was getting married? Don't even say who's getting married.
It
Don't even say.
I don't know the name, but it was a wedding. It was a wedding.
And
I'm just saying the wedding was lit though. I mean, there was a lot of people there.
Who was it? Was it some type of king? Was it some type of
No,
duke?
they was not kingly people, because if they were, they could afford more wine without having to.
They was broke. They was broke. And he went to a broke party in the hood, and Jesus help us. Please. We want to turn up too, but we can't. So, all right, I'll turn water into wine for y'all, and y'all be happy. Get loose.
Amen. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, God. You was here, Jesus.
But again, it doesn't describe what the wedding was. It doesn't say who was getting married. It doesn't say how many people were partaking in this marriage. You see what I'm saying?
So you think it's possible that it might have been a multiple marriage?
It could have. I mean, look at all the people that was there. If they don't have that much money, then they might be in a small town and they know everybody. But then why everybody didn't pull in together?
Because I don't know. I just think I've never been to any wedding, even up to this day, where people be like, all right, we out of something. All the guests, let's get $5.
No, everybody
nobody
leaving.
wants to do that.
Soon as we leaving, soon as the drink gone, this is the last shot. We out. Wrap it up, everybody. Come on.
Okay.
Everybody, y'all got y'all plates?
Now, for those watching and listening on, if you hadn't deduced up to this point that Gary is not for traditional marriage, right? In fact, you actually are engaged in a polyamorous lifestyle. Is that correct? Right.
Correct.
Now, for people who don't know, I'm gonna give you a chance to kind of explain that, you know, from your perspective, but just for anybody who doesn't know what a polyamorous lifestyle is, those are people who have multiple loving. Then this is I Googled this definition. Okay. Thank you. I did. People have multiple loving, intentional, and intimate relationships at the same time. Polyamorous lifestyles. Yes, polyamorous lifestyles is a type of open or non-monogamous relationship that follows certain guidelines.
And boundaries and rules and trust and transparency. Then you have polygamy. Those who would just be like, okay, me and my husband are gonna have our one partner, and it's only a female. Or then you have the other one where it's okay, me and my husband are gonna have another male, and she has two husbands, or two boyfriends, or he has two wives, or two girlfriends, or whatever the case may be. Or you have those relationships where it's like, okay, husband and wife, they both have their own partners outside of each other. And you have relationships where, okay, both parties have their own partners and they date together or they date separately. I know couples who date separately and they don't interact with the other person's partner. And that's your partner and that's your time with your partner. I know couples who date together and they interact with each other. Like I'm in a relationship like that with one of my partners. And I know her husband and I know his girlfriend, and we went out to the mountains and we had a good time in the mountains. Do I mess with his girlfriend? No, that's his girlfriend. But do we all know each other and know of it? Yes, we do. We go out, we split bills, you know what I'm saying? I'll pay, they might pay, she might pay. It's it's like a triad. It's like a tribe. And it's the same thing that happens with our ancestors before we were kidnapped and before we are culture got taken away from us, and before we was learning a new language, and before we were taught Christianity, we lived a whole different life. We lived a polyamorous life. A wife had 2 or 3 husbands because one's a warrior, and then you got one who's a farmer. And then the warrior goes out and he dies. Who takes care of these kids? She still has another husband who's a farmer.
Was it wives with multiple husbands, or was it
Yes.
husbands with multiple
It was
wives?
both. It was both. It
Now,
was both.
you never hear too much about women with multiple husbands.
Because it's taboo, and you're supposed to be a woman. You're supposed to have one partner, and you don't give yourself out like that. You don't put your body out there like that. Your body's a temple, it's holy, and you save it for that one person who's special. Okay, I think multiple people could be special. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't call a firefighter, you don't call a police officer to put out a fire.
Well, a lot of police officers have fire
They ain't got
rescue
no fire
training.
hose. So if you pull up in your police car, you do me nothing.
True. I do need you to be in the right outfit.
You don't go to
Equipment.
Firestone to get a double macchiato.
So you feel that, so what made you get into this lifestyle? Because we started having this conversation because we started having it like just you was at a event, I was at karaoke, you was at a work event, I was at karaoke, and it just ended up being in the same place, right? And we stumbled on each other and start having this conversation, which was so interesting. And I appreciate your perspective then. I appreciate it now. And I thank you for once again, offering your perspective here, because I feel like we need to have these conversations so we can get behind the thought process of why people make these choices. And it's not to condemn these choices, it's just to kind of understand.
It's not even, only if it's not a choice. It's not a choice to live like, yeah, I mean, some people say it's a choice. You can choose to live traditional and be like, I choose to just be with one person. But then you have a lifestyle as well. And a lifestyle is not a choice, it's just who you are. It's a part of you.
You don't think you choose your lifestyle?
I mean, you have a lifestyle choice, yeah. I mean, you can choose to drink, and you can choose to, that's your lifestyle. You choose to party, that's your lifestyle. Right. You choose it, but sometimes you're just a party person. And that's just who you are. And the most you be like, well, I'm gonna fight this urge and not do it. The more it tears you up on the inside, because this is who you are.
Really? But what about people who grow out of certain things? You got to admit that's a thing.
I mean, yeah, you can grow out of certain things. Yeah, you can always grow out of certain things and grow older or just get over it.
Yeah, some stuff get old.
Some things do get old, like relationships, and I just don't want to be with you no more.
Okay, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? We've been together 15, 20 years, and we've been stagnant. And we're not best friends. We don't whatever. We don't talk. We don't do it. We just go by our day-to-day lives and our everyday moments. And I changed, and I want to do this, and you want to stay here. We're not compatible anymore. And that's why I say I don't like the word relationship. I rather prefer the word partnership. Because
but you said before that you thought that, you didn't see any reason why multiple people couldn't be considered special. But is it easy to walk away from these people because you are in partnership versus relationship?
No, it's never easy. It's never easy. I mean, it's never easy to walk away from a relationship. It wasn't easy for me to walk away from my marriage. And I was married for 14 years. It wasn't easy for me to do that, even though we had different mindsets of where we were going in life. You know what I'm saying? So it's never hard to let something go that you care for and you love. And
people are going to look and listen to this and say, okay, well, he did have a monogamous relationship. So how and now you're at the total 180 of it now, like the total opposite. How did you get from there to here?
First off, I always had multiple partners when I was coming up, when I was dating. I never just dated one person, even when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? I always had multiple partners. I would have one primary partner, and then I would have other partners at other schools and everything like that. They didn't know about each other. That's how things got messy, and people find out about things.
So at what age did this start? What age would you say you started?
I was sexually active when I was 10.
Okay.
At 10. So from 10 on, 12, I mean, I just say 13 when I got older and I'm starting to understand my body and I'm starting to understand the anatomy of the female and everything like that. I've never said I wanted to be with one person.
And
Never.
so when you started having sex at 10, that was something that, that was that something that was consensual?
No.
Okay.
No. It was not, you know what I'm saying? But then that, triggers things, that leads to other things. And, but yet and still, it was like, you always had, grandpa always had another wife around the corner. That's why you got a stepmother and a stepbrother and the cousins around the corner. And you were like, oh, that's my cousin from my granddaddy's side, but he's still living with grandma. And she know about all, because she feed the kids and she clothe the kids and everything like that. It's something that was happening. Grandma probably had a little step around too, the milkman and the mailman and everything like that. Everybody has a thing, but is it, okay, are you going to be open with it, or are you going to be secretive with it? And a lot of things in the Black culture, we like to, everything is hush hush. Keep everything in the house and nobody know nothing. Don't tell nobody how you feel. Don't show nobody nothing. And, we keep it like this. If your daddy got another whole another girl, we don't show that when we walk out the house. We don't talk about that. But we should talk about that.
Absolutely.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Why don't we talk about it?
Because it stokes generational curses.
Right. And here's another thing. I mean, why not tell me about this when I could be talking to her? That could be my cousin. I don't even know.
True. That part too.
You see what I'm saying?
So you didn't grow up seeing one healthy relationship?
Well, yeah, my parents been married for 30. My parents are still married. They've been married for 36 years.
But you never really looked at them and said, okay, I want that.
Do I want to mimic that? No.
Never saw anything in your parents?
I've never looked at it and said, Black love is amazing. And I love it. They love each other. And then I see things now as I'm old. I'm like, yeah, they sleep in separate rooms now. He got his room, she got her room. And they don't even sleep in the same room. They'll be in the house sometimes and barely speak. I'm like, all right, do I want that? Do I want to be
like they just stuck together because of the paper?
Not even that. It's they've been together so long, man. Military and everything like that. They raised 2 kids. They raised the grandkids. Why start over? Why change? We got a house. We got cars. We got, you know what I'm saying? Not saying they don't love each other.
Yeah.
They show their love in a totally different manner. But
Yeah,
I don't want that. I'm an affectionate person. So I don't want to just come home and I go to my room and my wife is in the living room and we just eat and go to bed in separate rooms. That's just a roommate.
Yeah, I get that. So do you think it's possible that you could meet a person that can meet you there, like that could be there with you and do life with you? Be as affectionate as you want?
I mean, no. I mean, yes. But yet and still, I'm still going to be who I am. I love big. I had one, like my first true love. I met her when I was 15. I flew over the ocean for this girl. You know what I'm saying? And everything. Followed her. She had got pregnant at one time, and miscarriage and abortion, everything like that. Now, I say all that to say this. I still talk to her to this day. Like, I still talk to her to this day, 25 years later. She got a whole, she going through her thing and everything like that. She was married, everything like that. If anybody, it would be her. But she knows my lifestyle, who I am now. And so she knows, I would never stop you from being who you are. My thing is this, love comes in many ways, but it also should be unconditional. And most people don't love unconditional. And that's why most monogamous relationships aren't really based off true love to me, because you don't love me unconditionally. Because as soon as I break one of your conditions, it's like, oh, we're over.
I think that could be the case with the wrong person. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, either or. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't understand who I am, then, you really can't love me unconditionally, because the moment I do something that's out of your norm, you're like, I never thought you would do that. Or you never told me that you like to do that. Well, I never told you because I probably felt I couldn't tell you, because I felt I couldn't talk to you, because instead of me If I come into you and I tell you, baby, I like to have threesomes, and you, oh, you just want to hump other females. You just want to hump other females. That's all you want to. Well, do it without me. Do it without me. Go find your one and do that, but don't come back here. Like it gotta be. Why does it gotta be all or nothing?
I mean, but if I'm not in the threesomes, I mean, I think
I'm
that
talking to
if
you.
I
I'm telling
say it
you.
with
That's
my
what
neck on rotate, that may be a little like
I was not.
off-putting.
See, now, if I wasn't excluding you, I wasn't excluding you. I said, baby, let's us
So
go find a.
if you like threesomes, how come I gotta like three? I mean,
You
that
ain't
don't mean
got
I
to.
automatically gotta like threesomes.
You don't have to. But see, here's the thing now. Everybody puts on their masquerade mask when they first meet somebody. Everybody puts out their representative, and let me put on my suit and tie and button up and get freshened. And underneath, you got dirty drawers on. You had that t-shirt on for 20 years,
Uh-uh.
and you just sprayed some. The only thing you did was spray cologne on. You ain't took a nan bath or nothing like that. But you put on, you know what I'm saying? So your representative is what's shining, but underneath you filthy.
So you saying you asking to find out if this is your stilo or not?
You need to know what is your thing, man.
Yeah.
I think people don't ask the right questions when they start talking. People meet people, and it's the first thing they do. Hey, how you doing? My name is Gary. You be like, oh, I'm me. Hey,
Yeah.
I think you're pretty. Oh, you're beautiful, or whatever. I like your eyes, your smile. Da, da. Small talk. Where do you work at? Oh, so do you have kids? Oh, what do you like to do? Oh, let's go get drinks. Can I meet you again another day and let's take you out? And then you go to the park or you do whatever y'all do, and it's no real questions are being held. So where do you go to school at? Where did you? Nothing about, okay, so what are you into sexually?
That's a first meeting
Yes.
conversation.
And why is it not? Because if I'm a
Well, it
person,
depends on the people, and like if sex is off the table for me because I'm trying to do things God way, our conversation about sex is gonna be short because it's like, okay, well,
it can be short. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn out conversation, but at least understand, hey, you got down low brothers out here. You got females who are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why aren't these questions out here? Do you like penis, sir?
I agree. These are important questions.
These
I
are
agree.
important questions. Do you
I do.
like to sleep with multiple women? Do you say, I mean, because if it's not for you, why do I waste all my time and energy and effort and putting it out there to you, and then it goes nowhere once I tell you who I am?
But okay, well, let me ask you this because you had
or we get
okay.
so far down the line into this, and then my trueness comes out, and you be like, I wasted the whole 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you've been
Well,
faking
I shouldn't have to wait 3, 4, 5 years to find out that you require threesomes. I should know that pretty soon. I don't have to know it the first day we met because I might have to put a stamp of on your head. If you don't,
that's crazy because everybody I meet, first thing I tell them is I'm poly.
Well, yeah, because you told me. And we wasn't even coming at each other that way. Right. We was just having a conversation. You're right. You did just kind of come out with it.
And the first thing I'm poly. I never want to be put this thing in your mind like I can be with this man and see me with him, just me and him together. And I never tell you that I walk this type of lifestyle and I live this lifestyle.
Right.
And now you have hopes in your head and desires in your head, and it gets busted. Boom.
Because I don't think that you should withhold that information for a long time. You're absolutely right. But I did want to touch on the idea of conditional love, right? Do you, or unconditional love, the way you mentioned, right? Because you were saying that it's conditions on monogamous relationships 9 times out of 10. I know you're not going to speak and say 100% of the time because nobody can say that, but you say a good deal of the time that it's conditions on it. It can end based off of the other person failing to meet the conditions or the expectations
of that other person.
And the poly lifestyle has flat out guidelines, right? It says it right there. And so what happens?
Some of these things are even
so
written
it could be deal breakers in that too, right? Like what?
Very much so. I mean, you can step out. I mean, you can cheat in a poly relationship. I mean,
how does the guidelines go? How does that happen? Is that something you make up and say, okay, I'm going to be a poly person. These are my guidelines, or is it a group thing with the guideline? How does that work?
Personally, like it depends. It depends. I'm solo poly. I don't have any primary partners. I do have multiple partners, and I tell all my partners about each other. Hey, I have a so and so. I have a such and such. I have a so and so, and I have a so and so. And with them, it's like, okay, I'm protected with all of them. I'm never going to bring you anything. I'm gonna always protect myself with all of them. What do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel? Okay, when I'm with you, you don't want me talking to anybody on the phone. Is it okay if I answer my phone for my other partners? Is it okay if I, what I'm saying? Whatever we sit down and we do, we talk about, that's how it should be. I never want to disrespect you in no way. I don't want to be disrespected in no way. If your partner calls you, he call you, talk to him. I'm not mad. Hey, tell him I said it was good.
So it's not like an official.
Ain't no rule book. Ain't no rule book for none of this.
Right.
Ain't no rule book for no monogamous relationship. Ain't no rule book for no polyamorous relationship. It's all about the dynamic of the people in that relationship, and what do you perceive as disrespect, and what do you perceive as being honorable? As long as we have open communication, which is the main thing, open communication, which is something that lacks in monogamous relationships. Open communication, like some people feel they can't tell their partner everything.
Because you feel like you can tell your partners everything?
I can tell my partners. If I can tell you that I'm sleeping with somebody else, why can't I tell you what's more worse than that?
I mean, it's other.
I mean, it's besides,
because I'm like, you have nothing that you withhold from any of these people? Nothing?
For what?
I mean,
if it's pertaining to the relationship, why do I have to hold it back?
So, but what about pertaining to you personally? Don't you have times where you feel like you want to be naked as a person?
My personal self is my personal self. Like, I ain't gonna tell you every time I do whatever I do, or if I please myself or whatever the case may be. I did it at 3:00 today, and it was amazing without you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but what about real feelings like sadness or confusion, or really needing to have a connection with somebody and open up? Do you have that with your partners?
Yes, I have that with all my partners, and there's partners that I go to who I know I can express more to because they have a more of understanding.
I get that based off of their experiences,
based off their experiences, and based off their traumas and their past, or based off what they're going through. They can relate to me more. Some partners I can't go to and be like, yo, I'm going through this with my baby mama, or I'm going through this with this job or this person, and because they be like, well, I don't know those things. You can't empathize with me on those things. You know what I'm saying? So, or if it's work related, like with my real estate thing, like I can't go to everybody and be like, man, I just lost 2 clients today, or I just, because you're not a business owner. You're not a business owner. You never lost a client. You never, lost out on a deal or nothing like that.
Right.
So I can't speak. I can talk to you about it, but I won't go in depth because I'm gonna be the one doing all the talking.
Right. I get that. And then, so what about the challenges? Because just like it's challenges with monogamous relationships, there has to be challenges. Because I think I'm pretty clear on the benefits of it, and you've been good at kind of explaining what those are for you, and I appreciate that. But what are the challenges for you?
Time restraints, like giving my time to making sure I give my time to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm only one person, 24 hours in a day. It's only 7 days a week. So,
and you do have a demanding job on top of all of this.
On top of all that too, you know what I'm saying? So making sure I set my time aside and allot time for my partners. That's a one thing. 2 is making sure that, I stay in communication with them at all the times. You know what I'm saying? But then on top of that, I have to monitor myself as well, because I have feelings as well too. So I get jealous, I get envious, I get, angry and everything like that. But then I have to sit down myself and say, okay, Gary, why do you feel like this? And one thing that poly does, and this is what I heard from my partner, one thing, and I really see this, one thing poly does, it makes you take the mirror down and look at yourself in the mirror and say, why do I feel like this? Because it's not my partner.
Right.
It's not my partner. It can't be just my partner all the time. I already know he has another partner, I already know she has another partner, but how come when she goes out with her partner, I feel some type of way? I feel this loneliness, or I feel this emptiness, or I feel this, am I thinking that, oh, he does her better than I do? Is she going to leave me because, this one trip they went on, or, when are they
But you
sexual?
have experienced like envy or jealousy.
I mean, like, she go out like, okay, now, damn, is she going to have sex with him tonight? Is she going to do the little trick that she do with me on him? Is she, what I'm saying?
Or did she
is she
learn that from him?
or did she learn that from him? Or, what I'm saying? Or, like, yeah, when you learn that from? Like, we wasn't.
That's a new one.
That's a new one. Well, tell him I said high five. Thank you. We're adding that to the repertoire. You cannot stop that now. You cannot stop that now.
Right.
Okay. I mean, but it's your poly makes you deal with your own insecurities.
Do you feel empowered?
Huh?
Do you feel empowered?
Yeah, because I can monitor my own insecurities. Nothing you can do to make me jealous about nothing. I mean, because I might feel some type of way, but hey, I can get over it. It doesn't hurt me that because we spoke about it. I know you got another partner. I know you met this man when y'all was out doing what's the name. What attracts you to him? I have good judgment. I know you because I know who you are, and I believe you have good judgment. So I don't think you're going to bring anybody into your life that's going to be toxic and that's going to have any interference or any hindrance in what we do.
I have to admit that you had me not only Googling what the polyamorous lifestyle was, but just the concept of monogamy itself, right? And it seems that it's something that has been around, about 1,000 years, right? And to where it was something that was just kind of adopted as a broad thing, but only about 1,000 years, and that's not really long, right? So I was just like, I thought that was very interesting, right? But when I in my research, I wanted to know what made them go to it, right? And it was primarily to avoid STDs. You know what I mean? That's from what I was saying.
That's what they say. Nope, that's not.
You don't think that was it?
Nope. I'm gonna tell you why they stopped monogamy. Why they stopped
monogamy.
Started monogamy or stopped or tried to stop polygamy, because it wasn't white folk who was doing it. It was black people, and we were raising kings and queens, and we raised warriors, and we have huge families. Now, if I have 3 wives, how many kids can I have with 3 wives? 4 wives.
You saying the black people was the only people doing it? I don't believe that.
First of all,
I done seen Big Love and all these other things.
But again, they took everything that we do and we taught them everything. Mm-hmm. We taught them everything. We taught them how to bathe. We taught them how to cook. We taught them everything. They were savages. Right. They were sleeping with their own kids and killing it. Do you see what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So we taught them everything that they were doing. So while we were over in our raising, again, kings, queens, warriors, we have huge families, these huge families. And it wasn't just one woman who was having these kids. It was 3, 4 women having these kids. I'm saying, like, look at, we can go biblical time. We can go biblical time. We can go look at David. David was a God after man's own heart. And David had 1,500 concubines. Solomon was the wisest man in the Bible. He had 1,000 wives.
Yeah, but he also led people away from the faith, because it's not so much. He probably had a good old time with all his concubines and all that stuff. And we know David has his stuff. And, what he was good at doing too was coming to God and saying, I was wrong, repenting, and getting back on God's good side.
But he ain't never let go of none of his wives, though, did he?
Yeah, but he did get in that throne room with the Most High.
Right.
And Solomon, we know Solomon took down a whole nation because he wanted to do things his way.
And ain't neither one of them repent for having multiple wives. None of them. None of them.
Because it was socially acceptable for kings to have multiple wives.
It was socially acceptable for more people. Okay. Abraham was not a king, and he had 2 wives.
Well, that was, and we know that went wrong too when she ended up getting banished out too, didn't she?
No, that's because Sarah couldn't manage her insecurities. How you gonna tell
Because
me? How you gonna
yes,
tell this man to sleep with her to have a baby because you think you can't have one? Then she get a baby, you get jealous and kick her
because
out.
yes, I'm gonna get jealous because I made a terrible mistake and I
No,
went
you should
against
have sat
what
down and
God
had this conversation.
originally said.
You should have sat down and had this conversation beforehand. Now you make me feel bad because of something that you put me under pressure on. And now why is it that? Now why do I
But the
gotta feel
problem
bad?
was not so much that it was Sarah's idea, is that Abraham went along with it.
It wasn't Abraham's idea.
But it still was his penis, and he went on in there knowing full well what God had told him.
And should we not satisfy our wives? Should we not make our wives happy? Ain't it a happy house, happy wife, happy life?
You should not be trying to make her happy more than you should be trying to make God happy. No, God should be first.
I understand what you're saying, but he gave us a choice. He gave us a decision. If he should be first. I get it. And he should have stopped it. He stopped him from killing. He bought a lamb out there and stopped him from killing Isaac.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I know.
he could have stopped it at any time he wanted to. He could have made her not get pregnant if he wanted to. You see, he killed Nathaniel. You see, he killed Nathaniel, David's son, when he had with Bathsheba. So he could have stopped it at any time.
Yeah, this isn't a question of God's ability to do something, but it's just but what he's not going to do, because we know that God has permissive will, right?
Yes.
And he's going to allow us to do what we want. But what he's going to do, if we decide to go things about things our own way, he's going to take his hand off of us. And that's where the problem comes in. And so that's why it's good to make that choice. Okay, am I going to make the choice to do what I know God is saying, this is what I want you to do?
Let me ask the question. Why would it say, okay, a marriage should be between one man and one woman? That's what it says, right? The Bible says a marriage should be between one man and one woman, right? But then why would it say a marriage couple's bed is undefiled?
I'm thinking because if you're married, what you doing there is y'all good to go,
right?
Yeah, so y'all good to go.
So then we can have another wife, or she can have another boyfriend. Because if our bedroom is undefiled and we're married, it's one man and one wife, we're married. She could be married to somebody else.
It say one man, one woman, one flesh. Now it don't say go ahead and add some other layers of flesh on there if you want to. It's saying one woman, one man, get in there, do what you got to do what you want to do.
But if it's undefiled, we can do what we want to do.
But I feel like if you bringing somebody else in there,
you can't. You know, the word is the word. Word is the word.
True.
You can't justify. You can't. Oh, well, it said, and then you want to manipulate what it's saying. No, it says a marriage couple's bed is undefiled. So if it's undefiled, I should be able to do what I want to do with my wife, and my wife should be able to do what we want to do in our own home under our marriage.
So, but you're saying what they're saying is what they can do under the covenant of marriage. But if you're bringing somebody,
that's your
interpretation. It says one woman, one man, one flesh. Okay. Genesis 2:24.
It also says that a marriage bed is undefiled. So how is it contradicting?
Well, it also says, right, Colossians 3:5. So put to death the sinful earthly things lurking within you. Have nothing to do with sexual immorality, impurity, lust, and evil desires. Don't be greedy, for the greedy person is an idolater.
Idolatry. Now, see, are they talking to single? Are they talking to now? Is Paul talking to single people, or is it Paul talking to couples?
Talking to anybody considering having sexual immorality.
No, because if I'm married, I can have sexual immorality with my wife all the time. My thoughts about my partner is I could think crazy things about my partner. That could be sexual immorality.
I'm glad that you said that too, because I also looked up another thing, right? Because I thought this was interesting, because sexual immorality in the Bible is defined a little bit different than, just a regular dictionary, right? Outside of the Bible, right? So sexual immorality in the New Testament, the word most often translated as sexual immorality, it is porneia, is another word for it, right? The word is also translated into whoredom, harsh, fornication, idolatry. It means a surrendering of sexual purity, and it is primarily used of premarital sexual relations. That's for the Bible version, right? And for the outside of the Bible version, it shows sexual immorality is the evil ascribed to sexual acts that violate social conventions.
See, like rape and things
So
like
you
that.
saying you free to rape your wife?
No, I'm not free to see those. I can have sexual immorality. Some people can say that and be like, "Oh, I'm not raping my wife," because we can go back to First Corinthians. It says, "Your body does not belong to you. Your body belongs to me." So, am I actually raping you? If your
Well,
body belongs to me, do not hold your body against me as a weapon, and my body belongs to you.
true.
The only time we should part is under ways of impurity. When you're on your period, is the only time we should never have sex.
Well, we can go back to what's love got to do with it, and we know in that booth that I raped Tina.
See, listen, all I'm doing is combating what you're saying with. I'm giving you Bible for Bible.
Yes,
I'm
I
giving you
get
Bible
that.
for Bible.
I
I'm
get
not.
what you're saying. But
This
at
is
the
deep.
end of the day, it's clear sexual immorality is going against purity. And purity is having sex before
Who,
marriage.
who's purity? Who's pure? Everybody has their own definition of what purity is.
If I'm and I cannot get that because I feel like you feel like I can't say what you feel, but I know how we were discussing earlier. It's like, okay, don't come and be brand new. Cause like if I've decided to not have sex until marriage, right? But I've
Right.
had sex before, you know what I mean? And so maybe to you, I'm not impure, but right now I'm in a situation where I'm like, I've made this decision and I don't want to have sex until I'm under the covenant of marriage. And that's just the decision that I've made.
I
You
get
know what I'm
that, and
saying?
there's nothing wrong with that. But that doesn't mean that you ain't gonna bust it wide open when you do, and then be like, you know what? I love my husband so much to where, hey, if he asked me to do something that I never thought, I probably would do it. You never
I
know what you'll do for you never know what you'll do for the person you love. People do dumb things all the time for the people they love. They rob banks. They go kill people for the people that they love. They go to jail and spend the rest of their life in jail over somebody who they love. So you'll do things for your partner whom you love and be like, I never thought I'd do this, but I like this. I love this person that much to where I'm willing to be either submissive or go along with whatever, because I trust this person that much and I don't think they will never put me in harm's way.
Well, I'm hoping that I will have an idea of my partners, like we were talking about before, of being able to know they sexual proclivities before going in. Because
You see, some people,
I shouldn't get something all the way off the rails because based off of the principles you were saying earlier, we should have an idea kind of early on what they into.
you think so, but everybody's experience is different. Everybody's sexual encounters and sexual experiences is different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't do the same thing. Some people don't like to go down, and some people don't like to, I don't like to cuddle after, and I don't like to do, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's experience is different. So that being said, is like, do I want to be with somebody? So what's this person's inexperience? Ain't never been with nobody before ever. You got to teach this person how to do everything. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to teach. I don't have time to teach. Either you know what you're doing or you don't.
So you don't have time. But what if do you have time to learn? What if somebody wanted you to learn something that you
I
didn't
can learn. I don't do everything. I ain't, hey, how you do one person ain't always how you do everybody.
exactly?
Some people
Because
like it hard.
your catalog got to be now. Come on, we got to know your catalog got to stay all the way on 2.0 all the time. Like if you was an Apple phone, you would be updating every night, trying to
Always.
keep up with all of the multiple situations.
Right.
You know
And I know every one of my partner's bodies. I know every one of their bodies. I know every spot on their body. If it's a mole, I analyze everything. I know everything. Now I'll be like, what's that? That's new. I never seen that. What is that? Like, what is that? Like, I've never seen it. So yes, I'm a pleaser too. So I'm a pleaser. So I'm gonna make sure that you get what you want. So if I ain't doing it right, tell me how to do it right. The way I can make sure I'm doing it the way you want it, because that ain't how she like it over there. You know what I'm saying?
You wouldn't mention that to the other person.
No.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like,
No.
come now, see.
I mean, that's another thing right there. That when you was like, oh, there's some things I don't tell my partners. Like, I don't have to tell you every time I had sex with a different my other partners. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really think you really want to know that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just know that I'm with them, and you know what I do when I'm with you. So just know that the same thing can happen when I'm with them. Why are you more focused on them anyway when I'm spending my time with you right now? So why is your mind on them and not here where we're at right now? Because if you're happy.
So let me ask you this. Why is it different what you're doing, being in a poly lifestyle, different than just being a single man? Why is it different?
I could be a single man and tell nobody nothing and lead everybody on. And you have an expectation thinking that, oh, because feelings do get involved and people getting feelings. And if at least I tell you what I am and who I am, you can set your own boundaries of how far you want to take it with me. I'll never take your choice away. And that's what a lot of people do. And even with monogamous relationships, they take people's choices away. If you're gonna don't just cheat on me. Like, don't just cheat on me. Tell me you want to, you know what I'm saying? Say, hey.
But baby, Gary, everybody in monogamous relationships are not cheating.
I'm not saying that.
There are some happily married people.
I understand that. I totally understand that. And again, it's not always about, this whole thing is not always about sex. And again, poly is not always about sex. It's not. It's not always about sex. But I'm saying is this, don't never take my choice away. Let me have a decision on what I want to do. That's all. And that's what poly does. Poly never, I don't take your choice away. I give you the option to, you can leave or you can stay. But if you stay, this is who I am. And then now we have to have a conversation, an open communication about, okay, when I go out with Keisha, why do you feel some type of way? Because you knew I had a Keisha.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you, what is it? Are you intimidated? Because then they'll be like, I don't know female intimidate me. I'm a baddie. I ain't, what? Ain't nobody jealous of no female. Do you see me? Do you see this? Do you see this? Ain't nobody insecure about her. But then why would I go out with her every time it's you blowing up my phone? You got an attitude when I come back home. You want to know where did you go? Where did y'all take it to? I know I ain't taking none of the places I take you, if that's what you want to know. Okay. So
you just don't like the restraints of even dating exclusively.
No. Because then you put expectations on people, man. You put these high expectations, unrealistic expectations on people. Now it's like, oh, yeah, you ain't even supposed to text no other female no more. You better not like nobody page on their Facebook and double tap it. Or why are you interested in them? And what is this? And why are you all up on her page? And you look nice. I can't even comment them up. I can't even comment nobody no more. I can't even compliment nobody no more. And just keep it moving without you being all insecure and jealous. Why you send a winky face over? Why you? I like the outfit. The outfit was dope. I wanted to see where she got the outfit. I would get it for you. Or whatever, just because I'm a man, I'm supposed to stop looking because I'm with you.
It's not that you're supposed to stop looking. You're just supposed to stop acting. And I don't think that's too much to ask for somebody that you care about and who you want to do life with. And but I think it's important for you to find the right person to do that with.
That is the whole thing. And that is the whole thing. Everybody's not poly. And that's why I say it in the beginning. I'm poly. I have multiple partners. Now, if you want to give me your phone number and keep talking to me from here, let's do it. And then we can talk. And then we can see what happens. You know, but I ain't going to sit here and tell you, oh, I'm single. And I got... Yeah, I'm single.
Well, I got one more question for you before we wrap up here, right? Because, you know, a lot of people would make the assumption that the reason that, you know, especially with you starting being in a marriage prior to and then now choosing this lifestyle now, that some form of hurt or bitterness is the result of your new outlook. So explain, you know, why that is or is not true.
No. I mean, okay. I had some bitterness, but it wasn't that made me be like, you know, forget traditional marriage or anything like that. Again, I was a licensed ordained deacon. I was an armor bearer to the pastor. You know what I'm saying? For 6 years. My ex-wife was an evangelist in the armor bearer to the first lady for 6 years. When we divorced, again, like I said, I never thought I was going to be married. I didn't want to get married in the first place. I didn't want to be married in the first place. It was like, yo, we joined the church, and then now it's like we got to live holy now. I guess we was dating for 6 years. Why do I gotta marry to you now? Just to say what, nothing changed but your last name. That's the only thing. Then we got our divorce, man. I kind of like went nuts. Went nuts. I started out swinging, like just going to the swinging clubs and just being an all-out whore, a male
Would
whore.
you
Just
say that was a result? That part was
that
a
was a
result of
result.
her.
Yes, that was a result of the bitterness. Like I'm gonna
Okay.
just smash any and everything around here. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. If I gotta pay you to make it easier, here we go. To keep your feelings out of it, let's just make that easier. Well, what? How much is your utility bill? All right, here you go. Here you go. Now I don't need you in your feelings. I paid your utilities. Leave me alone. But as I got getting older, and then I met my partner who turned me, gave me the understanding of this umbrella that there's a whole different world out there. It's not just be single or be married. You can have what you want and still be who you are too, and still be great. You know what I'm saying? When I met her, that's the first thing she said to her on. I met her on what was it? Plenty of Fish or something like that. One of those, dating apps. First thing in her bio was, I'm a polyamorous woman. I have a husband. Yes, he knows that I date other men, and I'm looking for and then she went into what she's looking for in a partner. Now, it's nothing that her husband's not doing. It's not like he's not doing something so she got to go and get it from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? They both have a business. They both have prominent businesses. She does hair. He's an owner operator of his own truck. You know what I'm saying? They've been married for like 20 years. They got grown kids. Some of the kids still at home. And it's not nothing that he's lacking in no area. And ain't nothing that she's lacking in any area. And that's what people need to understand. Is like, I had to understand that, like, yo, you can love more than one person. You can be in love with more than one person, and it's okay to be able to do so.
So do you feel like she was looking for love? Or was she looking for sex?
No, because we didn't start out as sexual. We didn't have sex for like the first 90 days. Like we just talked and we kicked it. We chilled. You know what I'm saying? She got me to understand. She showed me
for companionship.
Yeah. She showed me how to be, because again, poly is not always about sex. It's about a partnership. If I can't build a partnership with you, then there's no point for me even to go anywhere with this with you. You know what I'm saying? We're bound by more. It's more spiritual than anything. It's more spiritual than anything than religious or anything like that. It's how a person makes you feel. You can't help how somebody makes you feel when you're with that person. Why do you think people got work husbands and work wives? Sometimes they work husband and work wives make them feel better than their regular wife and husband. You see what I'm saying? But it's like, and I like to use this analogy right here. And people are gonna be like, oh, that's different. You got like people who have kids, they have multiple kids, right? I'm sure they love their kids. They can have 10 kids, I'm sure they love their kids. They love their kids equally, but they love their kids differently. And what you do with one kid, you don't do with the other kid. What you do with one kid, you don't do, because they have different mindsets, personalities. They're two different people. But I love them both. And if somebody do anything to any one of them, I'll fight the Lord over my kids. You see what I'm saying? But now let's look at it in a grown-up perspective. How can I love more than one person? Why can't I have an emotional attachment to this person and an emotional attachment to this person, and let both of them know that I have emotional attachments I have emotional ties to both of you? It's nothing that you're not doing. It's nothing that he's doing better. It's nothing that you're not doing that he's doing better. It's like McDonald's and Subway. Y'all sell two different things. You see what I'm saying?
Both of them are fast food.
But okay, take it. take it like this.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Tacos.
Tacos. Easy. Good choice. Good choice. Could you eat it all day, every day? Could you wake up and eat tacos breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I probably couldn't eat tacos for breakfast.
Regardless, I'm just saying, could you eat tacos breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Even if you can have it in, you can have steak tacos, chicken tacos, you know, whatever, veggie tacos. You can have all the tacos you want.
Oh, okay. Different kind of taco. Breakfast taco. Okay, it's a such thing. Go ahead. I'm with
But
you.
it's a taco. But it's a taco. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, 365 days, 7 days, every day, year in and year out.
Probably gonna get tired of tacos.
You got damn right. That's how I look at it.
You so
like that.
Probably gonna get tired of tacos.
I'm gonna get tired of tacos. Just like now, if I don't change up this whole monotony in my marriage, I might get tired of you too. Because I wake up to you morning, I wake up to you morning, I go down with you. I lay down with you every night. And I wake up with you in the morning again. And I lay down with you. And I get the same thing every day. Yeah, you might put a wig on today and you be Keisha. Yeah, you might put some braids in your head tomorrow and you be Michelle. Yeah, you might get your nails done but at the same time, it's still a taco. Even though I love tacos, I'm gonna eat these tacos all the time. But at the same time, it's still a taco. What if I want to, because you put steak on this taco, I don't just want a taco steak taco. I want a regular T-bone.
I want a T-bone. Okay.
Can I have a salad? Don't give me a salad. Don't just give me a salad on a tortilla and dress it up and say it's a salad. It's not a salad. It's a vegetarian taco.
Okay. All
you know
right.
what I'm saying? So why can't I go to the Mexican spot and get my tacos from the Mexican spot, but then also go get the chicken from Fridays? I like chicken from Fridays. I want Fridays chicken.
And see, that just seems, you don't think that sounds selfish? Because
no,
I mean,
because you can go, just because you want to keep eating tacos every day. I'm not stopping you from going to get no Subway sandwich or Jimmy John's or nothing like that.
But if but you know what? But you're not talking about food. You're talking about people.
I'm talking about people. It's whatever. Same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same kind of concept. It's the same kind of concept.
I just feel like it is nothing more beautiful, right? Than finding that person and saying that even though I want chicken, I love you so much.
So I ain't gonna get no chicken. I'm gonna keep. Yep, you absolutely right. But
I'm gonna.
Yes. But here's the thing, though. See, now most people be in a relationship and they be lying, knowing they want chicken. Why you think you going to the strip club? Because you want chicken. You can't touch it. You can look at it all day. You window shopping all day.
But see, if it's gonna tempt you like that, you probably shouldn't go to the strip club. That's a whole other thing.
You got Instagram, you got TikTok. All you see is booty everywhere.
And all of it got an off switch. All of it.
I understand. You got a rebuttal for everything. That's pretty good though. But why is there not a rebuttal for just saying, "Hey, I want to have open communication"? You know how many men can't even go home and tell their wife the truth because they know their wife gonna act the fool? Even to just be like, "Baby, let's spice it up." Some people, "Baby, let's spice up our relationship." Oh, so what do you mean spice it up? What you want to do? What you want to do? I ain't. You. First of all, you ain't even ask me why I want to do this. You just automatically jumped off the rail like, you trying to. Oh, you just want to. Who? So who you sleeping with? What chick you want to sleep with?
But once again, picking the right person is essential.
It could be the right person. It still could be the right person. It still could be the right person. And
it's not the right person if they reacting to you, opening your, being open to them. If they attacking you for being open.
But you know it's true.
I know. And I know it's true that it's a lot of people that's up here linked up, married, that shouldn't be. A lot of them.
Shouldn't be. They married for convenience. They got married because they had a baby. They married for the money. You didn't really like the person, don't really know the person, or whatever the case may be.
And there's even people out here that got married just to have sex. It's
That
people out here
too.
that did it. And I'm not
That
saying none of that is cool. I'm not.
whatever your pleasure is, whatever floats your boat, hey, that's fine. Me, I don't judge nobody on what you want to do, man.
Hey,
I don't expect nobody to judge me. I feel more people are envious of me because I can walk in my truth. Like, you know how many men I talk to and be like, damn, dog, yo, man, you cold, bro. Like, nigga, you got both your girlfriends here with you and they both know about each other? Man, bro, I wish I could do something like that. You wish you want to do it, but you can't because you scared what your wife's gonna say if you go back to her and you be like, babe, I want to open up our relationship. Why? What am I not doing? What do you want? What's not good enough? What? And you get to attacking yourself. You make a man feel like we're attacking you because we say we want to open up our relationship. So you make us feel bad for wanting to open
because
up.
I can understand how it could trigger insecure feelings in a woman if you come in and say, you know what? Because you basically coming home and saying you're not enough.
No, it's not. I'm not
Really?
saying that. I'm not saying that.
You just saying I just want a little chicken.
Why does it automatically gotta be like I'm not enough for you?
Because what should it be? Why should it automatically be I should submit to what is going to make you feel
Now
most
here's
happy?
the thing. Now here's the thing. Say I played in the band. Right? I had a band that I played in. And you don't like the band coming over to the house practicing. You don't come to none of my sets. You don't come to none of my shows. You don't do none of that. You love me. You love me. But you don't come to none of my sets. And I meet a female who loves my sets. She loves to hear me play. She talks about the notes that I play. You don't want to hear nothing about my notes. You don't want to hear nothing about the new song I wrote. None of that. But we still go on trips. We still do everything. I love you. We still do everything. You just don't care about this aspect of my life. Somebody's interested in that aspect of my life. Let them take that over. It ain't hurting you in no way. You don't care about it no way. Now you want to be interested in it because she's interested in it. So tell me about your new song that you just wrote. You don't care. You don't know a B note from a C note.
Wait, so is it that you just want your cake and eat it too?
Why does it have to be a cake and eat it too? Why can't everybody? Why got to be a cake and eat it too? Why? Because here's the whole. Why can't I just have a whole?
It just seemed like I just want you to be stretchy enough so I can get everything that I feel like I want. That's what it sounds. It sounds real selfish.
It ain't about me.
And just because you giving me the option to sleep with other people when you the only one looking for the option.
It ain't even got to be. Who says it has to be an option? In that scenario, I didn't even say nothing about sleeping with this lady. I said she is in tune into my music.
Oh, why you even got to bring to me that you got a fan? If you a musician, you should be used to him.
Okay, I understand that. I totally understand that. But I vibe with her on this whole thing, and then just getting to talk to her outside of music is more to her than music. It's more to it about than music. So we get to talking about that, and even if I come home and I tell you now, what do you? Why are you mad?
It depends on what you're telling me. Like if you telling me that you met a girl that is she dig music just like you do, okay, I'm happy for you. You found a new friend, sure. But I mean, and then I love the fact that you're telling me because you're not keeping her a secret. I mean, because that's usually when monogamous relationships have problems, when people have friends of the opposite sex and they try to hide them. That usually that's the problem. You're not trying to hide her. You're telling me that this is who she is, and y'all talk music together. That's fine. I don't got no problem with that. But don't tell me
emotions
because you're trying to soften me up to open the gate to potentially have sex with her. Because then that's an issue.
I see what you're saying. But see, right now, you're already jumping on the defensive part about, well, what is it and what is it? What is it? And see, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying, if you're being real, be real about your real intentions. Because you ain't just telling me because you met a new friend. You telling me that you met a new friend that you potentially want to bang.
Now, if I be like, yo, it ain't even got nothing to do with banging. Like, I met a new friend. I'm feeling her. I think she's dope. Like, she's dope. I love her energy. Her energy is she's a whole vibe. You a whole vibe too in your own aspect. You a whole vibe too, but she a whole vibe over here. It's like an A and a B side.
Oh, now we're back to the music. But
tie it all together, baby. Tie it all together.
I
Tie it all
get it.
together.
Okay, Gary, we gotta wrap up because we'll be out here, and this will be
Oh
as
yeah.
my longest roots messing around with you and me. So I just want to say we have to have a part two. You open for that?
And let's have a whole series.
Yeah, I know. We have to have you back on here. I think I want to
Yeah.
even have other people join this conversation just so we can see, where it goes again.
You know what? I would love that. Matter of fact,
I would love for you to invite maybe somebody in your group if they be open.
yeah, I can invite one of my poly partners over, and then maybe you get a monogamous couple and
Yes,
have them come on. And
I
have a
would love it.
monogamous couple come on, and then it's not a debate, it's just a conversation.
It's a
You know what I'm saying?
conversation.
It's a
Yeah.
conversation.
And we're not condemning either side. Nobody's
No.
saying, but I think that these conversations are important. I think our ability to have them and be able to be cool afterwards is important. So I appreciate that.
Right. And that's the thing about communication. Communication is the key, man. So even in a relationship or even in poly, you can't be mad. You can be mad and have your feelings. But as long as I told you the truth, you have to work that out with yourself.
The truth
not
will
me.
set you
It's not for me. It's not for me to monitor your feelings. It's for you to monitor your feelings.
Well, with that, Gary, thank you so much for coming on the show. And we
appreciate it. Thank you for welcoming. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you so much to my guest, Gary Royal, for joining the conversation and sharing your views on monogamy. We will definitely have to continue this conversation because we just did not have enough time. So we're definitely going to make that happen. So you guys stay tuned. But as for today's conversation, if it spoke to you, please like it. Please share it. Definitely please comment. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you don't want to watch YouTube, you just want to listen on the go, you can definitely do that on Apple Podcasts as well as iHeartRadio. So monogamy in a nutshell, we know that's a touchy topic, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What I want you guys to remember is it doesn't matter if, who you love or how many people you love at one time. The one thing you just have to remember is no matter what's going on with you, you can never sever yourself from God's love. He will always be there to take you in, right? And on this walk with God, I know one thing for sure. Loving God can be easy. Trusting God can be hard. But I believe we can all get there one step at a time on this Christian walk. I'll see you next time. Be blessed.
Listen, homie, can you walk with me? Talk with me. What you know about God? Will He ride with me? Come and open my eyes for me. Hear my story. Show me more what's in store. And once more, listen, homie, can you walk? Can you walk? Let's walk.